Hi everyone, welcome back to our breakout clone. In the last video we went over how to get our bricks generating on the screen, so we got a nice little grid there. In this tutorial we're going to go over moving the paddle. So this will be a pretty quick and easy tutorial. So let's get to it. With our paddle selected, we want to come over here to add component, new script, and we'll just name it paddle. Create and add. Wait for it to generate here. Alright, we're good. Double click it. Open up Visual Studio, or if you're using Mono Develop, then open it up with Mono. Just give it a second here while Visual Studio loads up. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, well, we want to give it some movement. In physics, if anything is moving, it obviously has to have a speed, and same thing goes with programming any type of movement in Unity. So the first thing we want to do is just go ahead and create a variable for its speed, and that'll be a float. I'll just call it move speed. And since this is breakout, we want the paddle to go pretty fast, so we will give it something like 15. And we'll see how that works. From there, we want to access this object's transform, and we're going to do this in the update function, since that is called every single frame, so it'll be able to pick up our movement every single frame. So what we want to do is we want to access the transform function, so transform dot, and we want to translate. And if we look, this is what it says, moves the transform in the direction and distance of translation. So translate. And then we want to move on the x-axis, and we're going to do a new vector 3. And you see there. So we're going to input on the x-axis, and we actually have something already defined for us to do that. If we were to go here, back into Unity, click Edit, Project Settings, and Input, you see our axes. And we want, horizontal movement, so let's go check out horizontal. And we can see it's already defined for us. So our horizontal axis is defined as the left and the right arrow keys, and our alternative keys are A and D, which is what most people are used to in video games for going left and right. So let's go ahead here, and we will access our input manager by just typing input dot, and we will get our axis, the horizontal axis, by just typing get axis, and then it takes the name of the axis, so we already found out that that is horizontal. And then what we want to do is, we don't want to move any in the Z or Y axis, so we'll just do 0, 0. And then we want to multiply that by our move speed. And then any movement that you do in Unity 3D, if it doesn't have a rigid body attached, then what you really want to do is always multiply that movement by time.delta time. And delta time is the time it takes in between frames. Okay, so with that, we should be good to at least test this. So let's go ahead and come over here. We'll start our game. Okay, and from here I'm pressing A to move left, pressing D to move right. I can use the left arrow keys and right arrow keys as well. Looking good. Looks like I'm able to do what I need to do. But one problem here that you may have already noticed is if I come over here, I can pretty much move infinitely left and right. So we don't really want that. It's not really going to work out for us. So what we could do is we can constrain our axis on the x, our movement on the x rather, by coming over here and just giving a look in the at the x position of the transform of my paddle. So with the game running, just select your paddle and then pay attention over here to its x position. And then I'm going to move over, looks like maybe a 12.7 probably would work. Yeah, we'll do 12.7. Okay? Sounds all right with me. I'll come back over to Unity here. And what we really want to do here is we want to make some if statements. So if, well, first of all, we want to make sure that our horizontal axis is greater than 0, and this transform.position.x is greater than 12.7, and we just return. Okay. And then we want to do that for negative as well. Is less than 0. And this transform.position.x is less than negative 12.7. And we'll just return from that as well. Let's see how that works. Give it a shot, start going, and oh, looks like we're working. Oh, looks like we're doing pretty good here. All right, so now we have our paddle moving. Pretty much the only thing left to do, or at least the only object left to create, is our ball. So I'll see you in the next video.